We'll find a comfortable seat on the mat. I'm sitting up on blocks today. It's just more comfortable for me. You can try that if you'd like, but it's optional. However you choose to sit, be sure to pull the flesh away from the sit bones so that you're starting with a nice, stable foundation. Begin to draw the navel in towards the spine to engage those abdominal muscles and let the crown of the head reach towards the sky. Imagine making that spine as tall as you can. Bring the shoulder blades together and down your back, and then place the hands on the thighs, palms up, and close your eyes. And without it changing anything, just start to become aware of your breath. And if it's okay for you, allow the breath to flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Start to bring the breath into balance by making the inhale the same length as the exhale. So if your inhale is for a count of 4, your exhale would be for a count of 4. Inhale and exhale, same length. If you're comfortable with this, you can also focus on making the volume of air equal on the inhale and exhale. That might take a couple rounds to get the coordination going. It's a practice, so you can try that if you'd like. As I mentioned, today we're going to be focusing on slowing down. So we'll slow down on our mat so that we can hopefully carry that over to the rest of our lives. I'm going to read to you from Nikki Banas, Simple Things. Sometimes we get so caught up in life that we forget we don't always have to be busy. We don't always need to be checking our email or rushing to the next thing. We need to remind ourselves that it's okay and absolutely necessary to slow it all down, to take a break and enjoy nature, to turn off the TV and simply be together, to enjoy a game of cards, to ask our kids what they're wondering about, to call our parents, to watch the sunrise, to enjoy the smell of a burning candle. We must never forget to enjoy the little things, because they are never as little as we think. So our society really values people who contribute financially to the economy. And so we can then in turn start to feel that we're only valuable if we are providing something. Oftentimes we need to just slow down, to take a step back and sort of reset ourselves and remind ourselves what's really important. As we all have learned, everything can change in an instant. And in that instant, what really matters? Is it the fact that you're so great that you worked 10 hours of overtime? Or is it that you sat with your child and read them a book? Is it that you are so persistent and such a hard worker that you're willing to sit in an hour of traffic every day just to get to work? Or is it just sitting outside listening to the birds? Of course, we need to deal with finances in this life, and that's just an example. But it doesn't have to be everything. So hopefully today's class will help you to remember to slow down. We don't have to constantly be moving fast. We don't have to always be exhausted. Because when you're exhausted, the person that suffers is you. Your stress and anxiety levels go up. You're less able to fight off infections and germs. We become depleted. So be sure to give yourself the time and the tools that you need to replenish yourself so that you can be your fullest self every day. Now, one of the things that's interesting is sometimes when we slow down, things can get harder. In yoga class, if we slow down, sometimes we end up holding a posture longer, and that's challenging. Just like for some people, it's super challenging to just sit and relax. But with more practice, it becomes more possible. Let's bring the hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. We'll breathe together 3 times, and on the 3rd exhale, we'll share the sound of Om. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Inhale, and exhale. And for the 3rd time together, inhale. Bow your head. Place the hands on the thighs. Softly open your eyes, looking forward. So we're going to stay in Sukhasana. So if you're not there already, join me in Sukhasana and bring the arms by our sides. As you inhale, arms come up overhead. And as you exhale, arms come down by your sides. So make sure that that spine is nice and tall. If you're unable to lift and lower the arms like this, then you can simply watch your breath. And to link breath with movement, if you're unable to lift and lower those arms, you could even open and close your hands. Inhale, exhale. Remember, no need to rush. You're moving with your breath at your own pace. The next time the arms are up overhead, allow the palms to come together to touch. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Go ahead and close your eyes here. Come back to the balanced breath if it's gotten away from you. I'll remind you throughout class to come back to that breath. Take your left hand by your side and reach the right fingertips towards the sky. So we're going to root down through the sit bones. Inhale, create as much length in the spine as we can. And as you exhale, keep the sit bones rooted down as you tip to your left. You can walk the fingertips out, even bend the elbow. Feel the stretch in that right side of the body. Slowly bring yourself up, placing your right hand by your side. Left fingertips reach towards the sky. Root down through the sit bones. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, begin to tip to the right. This time, bowing out the left ribs. Watch the breath flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Slowly bring yourself back up. Place the hands on the thighs. Pitch forward about 45 degrees. We're not rounding the spine here. Start to make some nice big circles at your waist. So your sit bones are staying rooted. We're not rushing. I mentioned I'm also a personal trainer, and oftentimes when I'm training clients, let's say we're doing bicep curls, they do them so fast because they think that that means better. But even in fitness, we slow it down, and it actually becomes a lot harder. So now we're going to reverse the direction of our circles at the waist. No need to rush. And then we'll come back to a neutral neck, neutral spine. We're going to move into a forward fold here. I want you to be mindful of your low back. We don't want to stretch it beyond its normal range of motion. As you inhale, arms sweep up. And then as you exhale, you're going to just hinge from the hips. Lead with the chest, not with the head. And then when you feel like you can't fold anymore, just bring your hands down to the ground. So we're setting ourselves up to go deeper. On the inhale, create length in your spine. And then as you exhale, maybe you can walk the hands out a little further, maybe not. Inhale, lengthen. If it's okay for you, exhale, hinge. Start to walk the hands back towards the body. You're going to switch the cross of the legs. Readjust those sit bones. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, folding forward. Try not to round that back, and when you need to, bring the hands down to the mat or the floor. On the inhale, create length in the spine. On the exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Start to walk the hands back towards the body, and we'll come to all fours, hands and knees. So when you're on all fours, you want to make sure those knees are hip width apart and they're slightly behind the hips. Hands are shoulder width apart and they are slightly forward of your shoulders. We want to take our time so that we set ourselves up solidly. Fingers are spread nice and wide and we're pressing down through the fingers and the perimeter of the palms. Nice, sweetie. Take a breath in. As you exhale, shift the hips to the heels, the chest to the thighs, coming to extended child's pose, elbows up off of the mat. As you inhale, come back up, all fours, hands and knees. Exhale, back to child's pose. Continue moving with the breath here. And when you come up, you're just coming up to tabletop, or all fours. Exhaling back. The next time you come up to all fours, pause there. Take a breath in. As you exhale, start to wag the tail to the left as you turn to look over that left shoulder. So you should feel a stretch in the right side of the body. Inhale, back to center. And as you exhale, wag that tail to the right as you turn to look over the right shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Continue moving with your breath. Nice and slow. Experiencing the moment. Come back to a neutral neck, neutral spine. Take your hands forward about 1 hand length. You're going to begin to shift the hips back and up as your forearms and chin and chest lower towards the mat. We bring ourselves to puppy pose. You can close your eyes here, watch the breath. Inhale and exhale are equal. Slowly begin to bring yourself back up, bringing your hands back that 1 hand length, coming back to all fours, hands and knees. We're going to walk our hands towards the knees and bring ourselves up to kneeling. So our hips are right on top of the knees and the ankles come straight out from the knees. As you inhale, the arms sweep up. And then as you exhale, the arms sweep out as you hinge forward, turning the head to look to the left as the hands come to rest on your sacrum. As you inhale, use your core to bring yourself back up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms sweep out wide as you hinge. Head turns to look towards the right, hands rest at the sacrum. Inhale, use the core, bring yourself up, no need to rush. Continue moving with the breath. The only thing that's changing is you're alternating which way you turn your head. And if for any reason the arms can't be up overhead, you can simply place the hands on the hips. One more time on each side. When you finish, you can just bring yourself back to kneeling, and the hands can come to your heart. From here, you'll step your left foot forward. And we want everything to be in a right angle, at our hip, at our knee, at our ankle. Take your right hand to the outside of that left knee. Root down through the foundation. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, begin to twist to the left. If it's okay for you, you can reach that left hand towards the space behind you. Remember to watch that breath flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Slowly bring yourself back to center. You can place both hands on the hips. You'll step your left knee back to meet the right. Next, step the right foot forward. Check the angles. Take your left hand to the outside of the right knee. Root down through your foundation. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, begin to twist to the right. And if it's okay for you, the right arm can reach to the space behind you. Slowly bring yourself back to center. Hands come to the hips. Step that right knee back to meet the left. Take both hands to the sacrum. Here, we're going to root down through our foundation. Inhale, grow tall. Lift up through the sternum, and we're just going to take it back for a small back bend, a baby camel pose. So here, it's important to try to keep those hips right over the knees. Often when people come to camel pose, they begin to lean back. And we don't want to do that. We want to keep the hips over the knees, lift up through the sternum, and then take it back. Slowly bring yourself back up, and as you exhale, we're going to hinge forward and rest in child's pose. So when we rest in child's pose, you can let the elbows come to the mat. You could cross the forearms in front of you and rest the forehead, or even bring your hands back by your legs. Whatever feels restful. Watch the breath flow in through the nose and out through the nose. If they're not already, extend the arms out in front of you. As you inhale, come back up to all fours, hands and knees. From all fours, we're going to move up to downward facing dog, eventually to standing. So if down dog is not for you, when you feel ready, you can come to standing. From downward facing dog, we're going to from all fours, we're going to curl the toes under. Start to shift the hips towards your heels. Knees lift just a bit as you press back, coming to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. We want to create length in the spine here. So bend both of your knees and keep them bent. Then shift those hips to the back of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. Then, without shifting forward, lower the heels towards the mat. From here, we'll walk the feet forward, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax the head and neck. Place the hands on the hips. Press down through the feet to come up to stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. In mountain pose, our feet are parallel to each other, so they look like an 11. They're just femur width apart. Hips stacked on knees, knees stacked on ankles, pelvis in neutral. Crown of the head reaching towards the sky, shoulder blades together and down the back. As you inhale, let those arms reach out nice and wide. Palms come together to touch. Begin to lower the hands to the heart, and when they get there, you're going to start to turn the fingertips to face the floor as you hinge from your hips. Hands peel apart, arms open wide, unhinge, bringing yourself all the way back up. Exhale, hands come to the heart as they turn to face the floor, hinge from those hips. Inhale all the way up. Continue moving with your breath here. We're hinging and diving. This might be a little more of a challenging flow for some, but see if you can still move slowly. Don't hold your breath. Two more times. When you finish, you can bring the hands to the heart in Anjali Mudra. As you inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, folding forward. So we're going to hold this forward bend. It's perfectly fine to have the bend in the knee here. And if you'd like something super gentle, you can bend your knees so much so that your chest just rests on the thighs. Hands touch the ground, but if that isn't possible, you can place them on top of a block or something else, just to bring the floor a little closer to you. Relax the head and neck. Watch the breath flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Place your hands on your hips, press down through the feet and unhinge, coming back to Tadasana, mountain pose. From here, we'll move into Vrikshasana, tree pose. So we start in Tadasana. Bring the hands to the heart. You want to make sure the knees are soft. Begin to shift your weight to the left foot. Let all of the weight sink into that foot. The right foot becomes light. You can press that foot against your ankle, your calf, or your upper inner thigh. You can choose where you put the foot, just not against your knee. Push the foot into the leg, push the leg into the foot, and keep doing that. Find your drishti, your gazing point, something not moving. Watch the breath flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Optionally, if you feel stable enough, on the inhale, the arms can reach up and the tree branches can grow. Breathe here. So maybe you're the type of person that can put the leg all the way up on the thigh. That doesn't mean that you have to do it that way every time. If you're having a day where you just need to slow things down, maybe you don't take it to your highest level. Bring the hands back together, down in front of your heart. You can lower your right foot, shake the legs out a little bit. Then we'll come back to Tadasana, hands at the heart. Knees are soft. Begin to shift your weight to the right foot. The left foot becomes light. You can press that foot against the ankle, the calf, or the upper inner thigh. Just as a reminder, skip the knee. Push that foot into the leg. Push that leg into the foot. I even like to really press my hands together. Find your drishti. Watch the breath. And if you feel stable, as you inhale, arms sweep up, and those tree branches can grow. Yes, that bird, I think, really thought I was a tree. Hands come back together, down in front of your heart. Lower your left foot. Shake it out. So let's come back to Tadasana, standing at the top of the mat. As you inhale, your arms sweep up. And then as you exhale, hinge forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. From Uttanasana, we're going to step back to down dog, and we're going to hold down dog for a minute. For some of you, that'll be fine, and for some, that might be too long. So if it's too long, I want you just to come to child's pose when you need to, because that's where we're all going to meet anyway. Remember, hips point to the back of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. Knees can be bent. Heels relax towards the mat. Head relaxes towards the mat. Breath is balanced. And if you're not in child's pose already, you can start to bend those knees, go back down into child's pose. Take a few moments here. And we'll come to lay on our belly. So just lay down on your belly. You can cross the forearms in front of you and rest your forehead. Bring your arms by your sides, the palms face the sky. As you inhale, the head, chest, and arms simultaneously lift up off of the mat, fingers reach towards the heels. As you exhale, lower. Inhale, head, chest, arms lift. Resist the urge to look forward. As you exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. The next time you lower, you can cross the forearms in front of you, rest the forehead. Come back to the balanced breath if it's gotten away from you. Bring your arms back by your sides, palms face the sky. This time, as you inhale, head, chest, arms, and legs lift up off of the mat. As you exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, toes reach to the wall behind you, fingertips reach towards the heels. Exhale, lower. Lift and lower 3 more times, moving with your breath. When you finish, you can roll over onto the back and hug the knees into the chest. Place the soles of the feet on your mat. Make sure the feet are parallel to each other, and then bring the arms by your sides, the palms face the floor. On the inhale, you'll press down through the feet, lift the hips. As you exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, hips lower. No need to rush here. Moving with the breath. The next time you lower those hips, pause there. Bring your arms out like a T, the palms face the sky. Draw the knees into the chest. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to tip those legs to the left. So you're bringing that left leg to the ground, right leg just rests on top of it. If it's okay for your neck, you can turn the head towards the right. Just breathe. Slowly bring the knees back to the chest. Head and neck come back to neutral. Take a breath in, and on the next exhale, you're going to tip the legs over to the right. Right leg comes down to the ground, left leg can rest on top of it. If it's okay for the neck, you can turn the head to look towards the left. Slowly draw the knees back up, head and neck come back to neutral. Hug the knees into the chest. You can rock from side to side here. Bring the arms out like a T once more, and then just press the soles of the feet up towards the sky. Point the toes, flex the feet. Point the toes, flex the feet. And then start to rotate the ankles. Reverse the direction of your ankle rotation. And then hug the knees into the chest one more time. We're going to begin to move into Shavasana. After Shavasana, we'll be doing a short Dharana practice. So at that point, we'll come to a comfortable seated position. For Shavasana, you'll just lay on your back with those legs extended out nice and long. Your feet can just flop open. Palms face the sky, and the arms are just a few inches away from the body. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let it all go and just begin to release any tension that you're holding on to. You can relax the jaw. Let the eyes just rest and let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Resist the urge to make subtle movements. Let your natural breath take over. Rest in Shavasana. slowly start to deepen the breath, becoming aware of your body, becoming aware of the space around you. Start to make subtle movements that might feel good, like wiggling those fingers and wiggling the toes. You can rotate through the wrists and the ankles. Turn that head gently from side to side. And then stretch through the arms and the legs like you're just waking up. Roll to the right side in the fetal position, and we'll stay there for a few breaths. Bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position, and we'll prepare for our dharana practice. Dharana is the sixth limb of yoga, according to Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And dharana can be translated as single-pointed focus. So our society tends to value exhaustion and multitasking. But that's not really what's best for us. When we practice dharana, it helps to train our mind to be able to focus on one thing, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Today, what we're going to do for just 1 minute is watch the breath at the navel center. So you can just visualize it there. You could listen to it. However you bring your awareness to the breath at the navel center. So we'll do that for 1 minute, just being aware of it. Anytime you become distracted in that 1 minute, bring the awareness back to the breath at the navel center. And that is the practice. So don't feel bad if you become distracted 50 times in a minute. The practice is to be able to bring the awareness back to whatever it is you're focusing on in that dharana practice. In our case, it will be the breath at the navel center. So go ahead and get comfortable and begin to establish that balanced breath. Inhale and exhale are equal. If it's okay, the breath is flowing in and out of your nose. So we begin to bring our awareness to the breath at the navel center. And remember, anytime you become distracted, you'll just bring the awareness back. Go ahead and release the technique and bring the hands to the heart in Anjali Mudra. Before we go today, I was going to read a quote from Brené Brown, who's one of my favorite spiritual teachers. It takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion has, I'm going to start over. Sorry, guys. It takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol. And that's Brené Brown. So just remember that. and give yourself permission to slow down, to rest, to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Thank you for sharing your practice with me this morning. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be free from suffering. May you have ease and well-being. Namaste.